SportsBeat is brought to you by Ken Garth. We hear you.
Four more days. Thanks for joining us on this Sunday. JJ and Sam with you for the next 45 minutes. We continue to celebrate the return of more live sports and count down to the NBA restart on Thursday.
Yeah, Rudy Gobert, he already looks to be in mid-season form, and his on-court chemistry with Donovan Mitchell already making us forget about the quarantine drama. We'll hear from the Jazz on that and show you how the season opening weekend in Major League Baseball came to a close coming up.
Yeah, but we're going to start on the PGA Tour, where once again Tony Finau found himself in contention in the final round of a tour event. He had a total of 36 top 10 finishes in his career, but just one career tour victory, and it happened 4 years ago. Could he finally break through Sunday in the 3M Open? Let's start on the second hole. A birdie attempt from 25 feet. No big deal, right? Well, he makes it look easy. Let's go to the next hole, to 3, and it's even longer. 31 feet. Same result, a birdie. Now at the 10th hole.
What a message.
Tony's gonna have another birdie attempt. Solid. He shot a 3 under 68 in round 4. Finishes the final round with a birdie on 18, but it wasn't enough for the win. He tied for 3rd at 16 under, finishing 3 back of the winner.
You know, they don't give out second-place trophies, third-place trophies. I've learned that the hard way with a lot of them coming early in my career. But, you know, I continue to just believe and hope for the best for my future.
Now, the winner of the Minnesota 3M Open was Michael Thompson. He was tied with Adam Long for the lead, but then on 16, out of the green side bunker. Oh, this was special. He would birdie to move to 18 under. All he had to do at 18 was 2-putt for the win. Nah, birdie. Michael Thompson wins the 3M Open, his first tour victory since his last 167 starts ago.
Well, 2 scrimmages down, 1 to go as the Utah Jazz continue to prepare for the official NBA restart on Thursday afternoon. No surprise that the Jazz had to shake the rust of a 4.5-month layoff. They've had some sloppy moments, but last night against the Heat, the Stars looked a lot closer to their mid-season forms, especially Rudy Gobert. The big man led the Jazz in a 101-99 win over the Heat. The Heat didn't have any answers for his game. Gobert made 8 of 9 shots for 21 points. He had 8 rebounds and 2 blocks. We know what Rudy can do defensively, but in order for the Jazz to be their best, they need him at his best on offense as well.
Just did a great job looking for me and passing the ball, you know. And I try to get out of the screen quicker than I did against Phoenix. And, you know, it's on them. I mean, they did a great job looking for me and throwing it up there.
Like, obviously, with Rudy, he draws so much attention. He rolls down the middle of the lane. And with our guards, you know, the biggest thing for us is to be patient, let the play develop, because with him rolling, it opens up so many different reads and opportunities for us to attack if we stay patient.
Inside around Crowder.
You ever wonder what goes through the mind of players who contest Rudy at the rim? Gobert's second block of the game came when Tyler Hero thought he could get up high enough to throw one past the big fella. Instead, Gobert sent him to the floor.
He's not that big. I mean, are you surprised when someone tries to dunk on you now?
I mean, I'm not surprised. You know, it's I think it's a challenge. It's a challenge for everyone to try to dunk on me, and it's a challenge for me every night to try to make sure it doesn't happen. And sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But it's the challenge that counts.
The head shake after was epic, too. Remember when Rudy and Donovan Mitchell's relationship was on the rocks? We all wondered how it might affect the two on the court. Well, after watching how well the duo played together last night, it's pretty clear they still have solid basketball chemistry. Donovan connected with Rudy multiple times for alley-oops, and when the defense pulled in on Rudy, it really opened things up for Donovan as well. The Jazz need this duo to play well together if they want a shot at success.
I think we try to do the right thing for the team, you know, try to make space for one another, passing one another, screening, communicating on defense, you know, just try to do do everything to help the team. I think it's time to put it behind. You know, I mean, I get asked about it every day. I can understand, but I hope there's some more interesting topics.
All right, notice anything different about these exhibition games? There's no home court advantage. All teams playing in these small, empty gyms. The Jazz, they've noticed, it's the elephant in the arena, right? But when it comes down to it, basketball is still basketball.
You know, we have a great fan base as far as being in the crowd and them getting loud and everything. And so it goes from that to when you run out here come the Jazz, and then it's just silent. Like, I think that's one of the craziest things to get used to.
Getting ready for the layup lines, and there's literally nobody, you know, cheering or anything like that. So it was kind of surreal at that point. But once the ball was tipped off, I think this is basketball, and you know, we had a great time out there. It's good to be back. We've missed it, and we're looking forward to you know, playing and learning this new style and this new environment.
The LA Clippers will be shorthanded when the NBA restart begins. Lou Williams has been placed on a 10-day quarantine after a league investigation into what he did while on an excused absence from the Orlando bubble. Williams was photographed with rapper Jack Harlow at an Atlanta strip club. The reigning sixth man of the year will miss the Clippers' first two games, which includes games against the Lakers and Pelicans. He's averaging 18.7 points per game. Scrimmages continue in Orlando. Damien Lillard resting a foot injury. He sat out the scrimmage between the Blazers and Raptors. Not sitting, Kyle Lowry. A perfect lob to OG Anunoby for the slam. The Blazers were led by C.J. McCollum, picking up the slack with Damien out. 21 points, 3 of 4 shooting from 3, including that step back to beat the first quarter horn. The Blazers have Yusuf Nurkic back. Missed the entire season until now with a broken leg. His return can help the Blazers make a run at that 8th playoff spot in the West, although the Raptors still win this scrimmage.
The nightcap on Sunday's NBA schedule was between Houston and Memphis. Russell Westbrook was 0 for 8 to start the game until he finally hit this little fadeaway jumper to put Houston up by 5. James Harden, in classic Harden fashion, pulls up in transition and then steps back for 3. He had 31 points in 35 minutes played. What about Ja Morant? Well, he led Memphis with 17 points in this game. In the end, though, the Rockets did get the win, 119-104.
So how serious is the NBA taking testing in Orlando? Well, Dallas Mavericks forward Kristaps Porzingis forgot to get his daily coronavirus test. The NBA made him do a one-day quarantine, forcing him to miss the Mavericks scrimmage Sunday against the Pacers. Don't forget to take your test. Pacers star Victor Oladipo hoping to return to action after a serious knee injury. Looks good here. The steal and the layup on the fast break. Oladipo, 16 points in 28 minutes. Luka Doncic looks good too, no surprise, the All-Star, with 20 points, 11 rebounds, and 9 assists in just 24 minutes. Almost a triple-double in a scrimmage, but it wasn't enough for the win. The Pacers win 118-111.
How about the Sixers and Thunder? Well, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he led the Thunder with 16 points, nailing that one there. Former Jazzman Alec Burks looked pretty good, knocks down the 3, 13 points off the bench. Philly would build a big lead, up by more than 20 in the third, but OKC chipped away. Hamidou Diallo cuts it to 7. Then under a minute to play, Andre Robertson gives OKC a 1-point lead, and they complete the comeback 102-97.
A mustached Gordon Hayward and the Celtics taking on the Suns. Kemba Walker and 1. Can't get that image out of my mind. Here's another former Jazz player, Ricky Rubio, leading the break. It ends with a DeAndre Ayton dunk. Maybe he'll finally realize his potential in the bubble. Celtics, they'll get the win, 117-103. All right, welcome back, baseball. We've missed you. After a standoff between owners and players delayed the MLB restart, the two sides finally agreed to a 60-game season that began this week.
Cardboard cutouts, virtual fans filling the stands in ballparks all over the country. It's a bit strange, but hey, it's still baseball, and we had a full schedule today on opening weekend as that came to a close. So let's start off with the Tigers in Cincinnati against the Reds, and Jacoby Jones made sure to pack his glove for this trip. grabs this one out of the air before giving the wall a little love tap. Nice catch, Jacoby Jones. How about we check in on former Ute CJ Crone? Now a Detroit Tiger, a 2-run bomb in the top of the 9th to take a 3-1 lead. Cincinnati would give Detroit a bit of a scare. 2 on for Joey Votto, but he grounds into a double play, and there you have it. Detroit takes the series with today's win.
Blue Jays and Rays, G-Man Choi. He's a left-handed hitter, but experimenting with hitting right in spring. That's going well. His second try on the right side belts one over the wall for the Rays' first run. Rays down 4-3 in the bottom of the 9th. Loaded bases with 2 outs. Brandon Lowe, look at that hustle, kids. That's how you do it. He beats the throw. The infield single ties the game, so we go to extras. And in the 10th, Kevin Kiermaier delivers with a triple. Walk it off, Tampa. Your winners, 6-5 the final.
Marlins pitcher Jose Urena was scratched from the starting lineup today after a positive COVID test, so Robert Duggar is in. He allows the first 2 batters of the game on base, and then Bryce Harper takes him out. 3-run shot. Duggar clearly not ready to pitch today, down 4-0 after 1. He lasted just 3 1/3. The Marlins weren't down long, though. Second inning, Miguel Rojas hits a 3-run shot to tie the game at 4. Then in the 5th inning, Marlins still hot at the plate. Brian Anderson hits the Marlins' 4th homer of the day, and Miami gets the win, 11-6.
All right, our play of the day took place at Fenway Park. Red Sox and Orioles. Rob Austin of the Orioles thinks he has a base hit. Well, not so fast. Jackie Bradley Jr.'s on the case. Our play of the day wasn't enough to get the Red Sox a win. The Orioles prevail 7-4, but no one's going to remember that. You'll remember that right there.
A relationship. Oh, knew it was coming. Jump it up on 1.
Running down the top 5 Jordan Clarkson moments from this season. You don't want to miss that.
Invited to the NBA Draft Combine. That and much more when SportsBeat comes back.
SportsBeat is brought to you by Ken Garth. We hear you.
Oh, it feels so right having baseball back in SportsBeat, right? In fact, the MLB opener 2 nights ago between the Yankees and Nationals had more television viewers than any Major League game since 2011. That season opening series hasn't disappointed, with each team winning a game. The third and final game of the series between the two was today. The Nats had the early offense. Trey Turner, solo homer to left. Washington was up 2-0 after 4 innings. Now, the Yankees had just 1 hit through 6, but came to life in the 7th. Gleyber Torres and Luke Voit both homering in that inning to tie it up. Torres also knocked in the go-ahead run in the 8th, and the Yankees get the win 3-2.
A's hosting the Angels. Mike Trout at the plate. And he does what he does best. Down 5-0. He puts the Angels right back in it. A 3-run shot off Mike Fiers. The Angels get within 1 when Sean Murphy takes Matt Andriese deep. And the A's hold on to win it 6-4.
Rockies shortstop and Texas native Trevor Story had quite the homecoming today against the Rangers. Ties the game up in the 4th inning with a 2-run homer to right. Then in the 6th inning, with his family looking on, a shot to the second deck for a 4-2 lead. The Rockies win their 2nd this season, 5-2.
A second decker. The Twins crush the White Sox in an AL Central battle. Bases loaded on the top of the 1st for Jake Cave. Left fielder Eloy Jimenez gives his best effort to keep it in the park, but paid a price at the wall. The Twins' Nelson Cruz homered twice and drove in 7 of the Twins' 14 runs. Not bad for a 40-year-old. They take the series with a 14-2 win.
Still got some pop. Well, the Braves were destroying Mets pitching today at Citi Field. Marcell Ozuna, already with a 2-run double to his name, adds a solo homer left in the 6th for the 11-1 lead. Then Austin Riley just obliterates Corey Oswalt's pitch. Look at this. This is off the facade of the 3rd deck. That's right. The Braves totaled 17 hits. 10 of those extra base hits. They win big.
Oh, this is a great story. Cleveland Indians pitcher Carlos Carrasco was diagnosed with leukemia more than a year ago. He returned to the mound on Sunday and was spectacular. 10 strikeouts in 6+ innings. Jose Ramirez homered twice to provide the run support that Carlos needed. to get a win in his return. Congratulations, Cookie. All right, it's been through 2 months since the passing of the legendary Utah Jazz head coach Jerry Sloan. The NBA restart provides an opportunity for the Jazz to honor Jerry as they return to action in Orlando. The players are wearing a special patch on their jersey that features the number 1223, the number of wins Jerry had in his 23 seasons as head coach of the Jazz. It's fitting that the patch made its debut on July 23rd. Next season, the Jazz jerseys will display a commemorative black strip with the same 1223 design. There will be more plans to honor Jerry that will be released at a later date. And fans can purchase the patch for $12.23 with money being donated to charity.
Just expected for those of us that, you know, are part of the program. You can't talk about the Utah Jazz without talking about Coach Sloan. His impact, you know, really throughout the state of Utah, the organization, you know, players, fans, coaches, you just can't overstate it. You know, even in the shorter time that I had the opportunity to know him, there's nothing you can say other than he's a great coach and a great man.
The Jazz organization has produced a campaign to generate support for Jazz players in the NBA awards. They're hoping the people that matter will vote for Donovan Mitchell for All-NBA, Rudy Gobert as the Defensive Player of the Year for a third straight time, and Jordan Clarkson, as you're seeing here, as the NBA's sixth man. They did so with a little bit of a comic book superhero theme. I like it. King of defense.
I thought that was pretty cool. The hand-drawn stuff, they did a really good job. That's probably one of my favorite Marvel characters too, the Human Torch. So it's cool and everything. I definitely would want to be in the talks and stuff like that. But, you know, I'm concentrated on a bigger goal, winning games.
Good stuff. Speaking of the Human Torch, Jordan Clarkson, he's only been with the Jazz for 34 games, but he's already become a fan favorite.
In fact, in just those 34 games, he's had enough great moments that, hey, he's our topic for this week's SportsBeat Top 5. Number 5, Clarkson picks the ball off against the Kings and goes the other way for the dunk. He made 8 of 13 shots in that game and added 5 rebounds in the win. It was his 4th 20-point game in just the first 12 games that he played with the Jazz.
120-115. Nice pass down low. Ingles as a magician inside of Clarkson.
Clarkson with the sneaky backdoor on the inbounds. A perfect pass from Jingles, and Jordan clinches victory in D.C.
And Clarkson is starting to build a relationship. Oh, knew it was coming. Jumping up, and Jordan Clarkson.
When the Hornets came to town, Clarkson was still a fresh face in Utah, just his 4th home game with the Jazz, yet he was right at home with that dunk, finished with 20 points in what was at that time the Jazz 11th straight win.
Clarkson, that's a transition 3, and he buries it. And here comes Utah.
Jordan was great from the start when he joined the Jazz, but this crazy comeback and explosion in the 4th quarter in Denver showed us just how explosive of a scorer he can be. 24 points in the 4th quarter. He finished with 37 total points.
1-1 against Clarkson. Oh, taken away. Taken to the rim, and he does with 2 hands.
Yeah, number 1, Clarkson makes James Harden look silly, taking the ball away from him and coasting the other way for the dunk. Harden's whiny face you saw there, that was probably the best part of the play, too.
We don't know yet if the NBA will hold its annual scouting combine, but if they do, 2 college basketball stars from the state of Utah will be there. BYU star Yoli Childs and Utah State star Sam Merrill have both received invitations. They're 2 of around 60 players to receive those invites. Both Childs and Merrill, of course, are Utah natives. Childs from South Jordan and Bingham High School, Sam out of Bountiful High.
After finishing group play with a win, a loss, and a tie, and finishing 3rd in Group C, Real Salt Lake was still able to advance as one of the final 16 teams to the knockout round in the MLS's back tournament. RSL will be up against the San Jose Earthquakes in a nationally televised game tomorrow night, a game that starts at 6 o'clock Mountain Time on Fox Sports 1. San Jose won 2 and tied 1 in group play to win their group, Group F. The winner of this game will advance to face the winner of Tuesday night's matchup between Columbus and Minnesota.
We have an upset in the knockout stage of the MLS's back tournament. New York City FC stuns Toronto FC. They found the back of the net in the 5th minute. Jesus Medina, 1-0 NYC. They had an insurance goal in the 55th. Valentin Castellanos. A 3-1 victory for New York City. They are moving on to the quarterfinals. The NWSL Challenge Cup Championship at Rio Tinto Stadium. Chicago Red Stars versus the Houston Dash. The Dash score in the 5th minute on a penalty kick by Sophie Schmidt. Still 1-0 in stoppage time when Shea Groom breaks loose and beats the keeper for a little insurance. The Houston Dash are NWSL Challenge Cup champions. A great tournament comes to a close, and Dash part owner James Harden is thrilled with the result.
Adversity, with all the, the coronavirus and everything that's been going on in the world. But for them to win the championship, it's amazing. So it's the beginning stages of our winning ways, and, I'm proud of them, and, we'll continue to keep those winning ways going. No, I'm proud of them.
Sports World is making its highly anticipated comeback, a much welcome comeback from the night that it all shut down in Oklahoma City back in March. Alema Harrington was a part of the broadcast team for the Jazz Thunder game, and on this week's episode of Thorough Talk, Alema shares his emotions from that night when the sports world pushed pause.
You were with Craig on the road. I was with Mike Smith on our set back here in Salt Lake City. That's right. Toss out to you guys for the start of the actual game broadcast. Our producers start to freak out a little bit, and freak out might be a little too dramatic of a term, but they start.
No, I think you hit it on the head. You freaked out.
They're trying to get us back, myself and Mike, back on the set, mic'd up and ready in case you guys were going to throw it back to us, because there was, some uncertainty as to where we were going.
Right.
But, from that point on, and I've shared this before, where, Mike Smith and I were walking to the parking lot from the arena, from Vivint. We go downstairs to the main floor, and we're walking out of the building and looking at each other going like, what just happened? And Mike lives in California, so he's, he would be flying back home for him. I'm like, is this it? Like, is the season done? Because at that moment, Adam Silver had made the announcement that it was postponed. The season was suspended, was the terminology. All of us struggle with uncertainty. Like I don't know what's going to happen. And the blessing, I think, for me in dealing with it was that the life lessons that I've learned through my addiction recovery and some of the work that I've done personally there is being in full acceptance of not knowing.
Gotcha.
And it's like being able to deal with that. And that doesn't mean I deal with that perfectly, because I don't. I get, panicky, scared. I can be driven by fear. But I had some tools to be able to say, it's going to be okay. Whatever it is, it's going to be okay. Man, I was in a spot where I was like, wow, like I don't know what's going to happen with the Jazz and how that's going to look. We all have contracts, that's but, right. This was, a circumstance that nobody had been able to predict. I can say this, like I was given lip service to like, oh, it's going to be okay. Yeah. Like, but inside, man, I was scared.
Yeah.
Yeah. Financial, and just security.
Yeah, for your family.
Like, yeah. So that's kind of, and that's been the process for this whole time. And I've been blessed, fortunate to have support.
Yeah.
You're part of that support system, T. And other guys that are close to me in my recovery, and family that are there to kind of help us to get through this.
Still in the NBA, former Lone Peak High star Frank Jackson, looking to have a breakout in the bubble with the New Orleans Pelicans. This is a good sign. Look at the hops on Frank Jackson.
So we've all seen the cardboard cutouts of fans in stadiums, right? But the Mets also have cutouts of dogs in right field. Just 3 of them, though. But it doesn't matter. Braves outfielder Adam Duvall, he zeroed in on one of them. Homer yesterday drilled the dog on the right. And that dog of that pick belongs to Mets Jeff McNeil. The actual dog's name, Willow, was not harmed in the hitting of that homer.
Doggone it. Casey Scott joins Tom Hackett on the hallowed grounds. It's next.
The Hallowed Grounds, brought to you by Siegfried and Jensen.
Welcome into this week's episode of the Hallowed Grounds. Ogden Golf and Country Club, the beautiful, the majestic Ogden Golf and Country Club. Casey Scott, everybody. Second time round. You're paying me some good money to come on this program, and I thank you for it.
No, you're having me here for, you said, the redemption, because I smoked you on the first one.
Oh, my word. I can't hit.
You don't like that shot.
I'm not.
You are not.
So, you know the rules. I think our viewers know the rules by now. Here's the deal. He's already won, so he cannot win anything else.
But I can win for you.
He's going to play for a viewer, for a listener to the Dadtastic podcast, a podcast that was launched just this week. Check it out wherever you download your podcast. Casey Scott, you're on the tee. Let's play some golf. In the rough. Next to the bunker every time, baby.
You know what's funny about Tom is on our podcast, Dadtastic, he gives guarantees all the time, and they're the most absurd guarantees you've ever heard. Yesterday we were talking that you guaranteed you're sexier than me just because you are younger. And I had to remind you that sexy isn't an age, it's a look. You know, George Clooney, sexy.
I have less wrinkles.
Sean Connery,
I've got
sexy.
a way better accent, and my body's in way better shape than you work out. Okay, just go hit your ball. I think the biggest talking point is whether you eat mayonnaise or Miracle Whip.
Mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise all day long. If you eat Miracle Whip, you're a psychopath. Uh-oh.
He's in the water. What's one lesson you learned as a father so far in your short career?
That the additional pressure your hubby puts on you is not necessarily always required. Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, my wife goes and works out.
Mm-hmm.
And Bubbles is on a strict schedule. He must eat at 7 a.m. That's the time my wife works out. And she says to me, he has to have his bottle finished by the time I get back. And that's 8 o'clock. So I've got 1 hour. Daddy's got 1 hour to feed Bubbles, who's not the best eater. And I'm yet to succeed. And so she comes home and she gets very frustrated with me. Like really agitated. And I go, I don't know what you want me to do. I'm doing everything I can to try and put the bloody bottle in his mouth and him to suck on it, but he won't do it.
I think the thing that I've learned is that schedules and routines are important, but darn near impossible to keep.
I love that you said that, and I love that my wife's going to watch this episode.
I love you, Kate.
Most of the people we got following us on social, go follow us at Dadtastic Podcast. Mostly women. It's like they're trying to spy on their hubbies, eh? Cheeky devils. He's up and about.
What does that mean?
I mean, you don't win.
You didn't win either.
I know, but a viewer doesn't win. You have to beat me to win.
You're really going to look into our viewers and say that they don't have a chance to win a Bushnell?
You don't have a single chance.
He's lying. You do too. Follow us on Dadtastic. We're going to give one away.
Yeah, we'll give it away. We'll give it away. We'll give it away. But you're not going to get one now, whoever you are. Case, thanks for coming out, man.
Thank you very much. Love you, mean it.
Love you, mean it. Welcome in to this week's Pro Tip of the Week, brought to you by Nate Wade Subaru, of course. Dan the man, Dan Engel. The Westminster Griffins head golf coach is still with us, and we're on the tee here on the 11th, up at the Ogden Golf and Country Club. Spit it out, Tom. Long story short, most golfers hit a fade or a cut or even a slice. Dan, if one of your golfers has struggled with this, is still struggling with it, how do you go about fixing it?
Yeah, so there's a good drill I learned when I was in high school is I would preset my shoulders kind of like this, so I'd take it away, and then my swing coach would make me hit golf balls without moving my chest. So I'd have to hit it from here and just time it, which for most good players, that produces a hard hook, but at least you know the ball's turning over. And so that's the main thing is look at your shoulders. If you're diving at it and using a lot of upper body, you're losing power and you're also losing, you know, accuracy with the way you're coming into it. So that would be the main thing. Check, you know, focus on shoulders, use your legs, and just, you know, kind of stay probably a little bit more inside is the way to think about it for most players.
Bushnell has come out with a very innovative product called the Wingman. This is a Bluetooth speaker. Great sound quality, but we've done a couple things to make this not just a Bluetooth speaker. One, this is a GPS. 107. See, one thing I like about this unit is it gives you general front, back, middle, but on a big green like this, I really like using it in conjunction with a laser. A laser can tell you within 9 inches of something. And my GPS here is going to tell me 92 to the front, 120 to the middle. This is a long green. So this just dialed it in to 107. Now I can screw up from there, but at least I know the facts.
Golf for days in Heber Valley at one of 5 beautiful mountain courses. Wasatch Golf Course, Soldier Hollow Golf Course, and the Homestead Golf Club are all within 7 miles of each other. Enjoy the feeling of getting away without the long drive.